And you're welcome back to The Middleman. My case, Trouble They Sleep. Babangida go wake up. I was going to read General Babangida's book. I was young when he ruled, but remember the general feeling of displeasure at his dictatorship. I really wanted to know his reasons for annulling the junta of 1993 elections and the forces that eventually made him step aside. An intellectual lawyer reprimanded me for wanting to read the PDF file of this book. Someone else told me to keep my 50,000 naira, the price of the book, in this T-shege economy and save myself the trouble of the misrepresentations in the memoir. But after watching Barrister Femi Falana talk about his take after he read the book, I had to rethink about my decision. To fight lies, you must have facts. The biopic that was supposed to tell us the truth through IBB's dimming eyes have now opened the Pandora's box. Femi Falana says he'll sue the general for incarcerating him along with Gani Faweimi and Bekor Ransom Kuti, the proponents of Campaign for Democracy, who had insisted that MK Abiola won the elections. For Babangida to say the same thing now and even publish the results in his book, it means they were maliciously incarcerated. Femi Falana insists Babangida cannot point fingers at anyone else, particularly Abacha, who is now dead, for the annulment of that election, because it was Babangida who signed the military decrees to support the annulment. Trouble They Sleep. Babangida go wake up. God rest Fela Nicola Pokuti. He wasn't a fan of Babangida. The Abiola children are asking for compensation. Children of Abiola's colleagues who were indirect victims of that annulment are even asking why any Nigerian is clapping for Babangida and his one-sided truth. Not only did he orchestrate the ruination of the Nigerian currency, he oversaw an 8-year misrule that set Nigeria back by many years and led a junta that killed many citizens who opposed his decrees. What has Babangida gained by waking up trouble? Many think he is riddled with guilt at the twilight of his life. He wants to confess and beg for forgiveness, but no one tells a tale and blames themselves. So rather than let sleeping dogs lie, Babangida's confessions have woken trouble. Some things his children don't know about him may finally come to light. Some are professing that in another few years there may be confessions that Peter Obi won the February 25, 2023 elections. My verdict: if you want history to be kind to you, do the right thing at all times. No matter how you want to color the truth in future, posterity will judge you. Let us ensure we come to equity with clean hands.
That's very interesting. But you can see that by pushing blame for the annulment to Abacha, he has actually, will I say, saved himself from potential lawsuits.
We can't sue you, but you can sue him.
No.
Yes.
Look at what
a dead man can be liable.
Well, to what extent? You must hear in the law there is, hear the audi pattern, hear the other side. Yes, alternate pattern. How do you hear the other side? So how do you hear the other? How do you
hear Abacha's side now
when you have not heard the other side? So Babangida is telling you that he was in Katsina when the annulment took place, when the press statement was issued and read. So by his
utterances,
utterances, he has actually absolved himself of blame. It shows that the man,
remains an evil genius.
No, not a genius. The issue is that, you see, Nigerians need to know one thing today. Many of these politicians are just there for themselves. The annulment actually involved a lot of them. A lot of those parading in power today actually wanted to be a part of Abacha's government, but couldn't get in, and so they negotiated with foreign countries to use the annulment, for leverage. And so, one thing Nigerians should know today is that if you don't die in their war, I remember I was very, I was old enough to witness the Abiola trials and all that. And I remember there was a matter I think that was to come up at the Federal High Court, Kaduna, and there was this idea that Abiola should ask for bail so that he can travel abroad to take care of himself. Some people were whispering to him that when he travels abroad, after treating himself, he should use the opportunity to mobilize international pressure on Abacha. But the Nadeko people said no, that he should not, because the bail was going to be conditional. So they said no, he should reject it, that he should insist on a conditional bail. So all of that, if you remember, there was a period that nobody heard anything about Abiola. I think about 3 years.
3 years.
Nobody heard anything about Abiola. And his health was worsening while in custody. So we must be very careful. It has taught me a big lesson about Nigerian politics. And I'm sad that a lot of young Nigerians cannot, see the forest for the trees, that they cannot smell the coffee. To understand that June 12 was actually the biggest scam played on Nigerians, both by IBB and all the people who benefited from it.
Well, so Abiola was incarcerated from around 1994 to 98 when Abacha died on June 4th or June 8th.
Yeah.
I think he died June 8th.
Yeah, 98.
He died June 8th.
June 8th.
It was the year, a harvest of big debts. It was after Chief Obafemi Awolowo was on previously, then Fela, then Abacha, then MKO. Well, I was a teenager in junior secondary school that time, and schooling away from Lagos. But what I remember of those days was there seemed to be a lot of hope when people hear that campaign. I don't know.
The 1993 campaign.
Yes, MKO Kingibe.
MK is our man.
I don't know.
MKO!
Both of you are making me.
He's our man.
Both of you are making me look old.
Sir, regardless of. We are millennials.
There are people who have relegated our millennials to millennial status. So anyway, at the time, what I felt then was that Nigeria seemed hopeful. Like something good was coming.
Of course.
That's why he called it Hope 93.
I didn't even know all of it, but I know that whenever that, I don't know if it was Sonny Nage, that voice is Sonny.
MKO, it's our man.
It was done by Insight now.
So like I said, that same voice for me sang for that bank that turned 100 at the time. I don't want to mention it. So, but eventually I became a student of political science.
I read about the stories.
Both the BSc and the higher degree. And then, but those are by the side. My point is, in law, certain confessions is admittance that can stand as evidence for conviction. So, I don't know why within...
Trouble they sleep.
Yes, that's where I'm going. I don't know why within that hall, we had IBB read his admittance, irrespective of... pointing at Sani Abacha. Falana had authoritatively told us that it was he, the head of state at the time, that signed the
because he was incarcerated.
So those are theories we can build on.
Yes.
Now, thirdly, it was a crime to have annulled an election you declared was free and fair. Those are cases to build. Abiola went to jail alive and returned dead in the coffin.
Very sad. Very sad.
And then, where is the case of Alhaja Kudirat Abiola
who was assassinated?
Such gruesome murder, assassination.
Well, the claims that Kudirat was murdered under Abacha's regime. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
She was shot by Sadia Rogers.
Yes, they admitted.
So, and then IBB had said to underscore the credibility of the election, appendixed to this book are results of the election.
He even declared election results.
And we know that before the death of Professor Humphrey Mosu, this authenticity had been muted years ago.
True.
So I would think that from that place,
somebody would just throw conflicts on him.
Or a subpoena inviting him to court to, and then the process would have. Then I saw all of them
clapping,
applauding, beginning with our commander-in-chief and all the security apparatus, National Assembly, the judiciary, law. So I I'm wondering, is this an insult to the entire masses?
Not only is it an insult, right? Professor Oshibajo mentioned at the book launch, and he said it jocularly, right?
I wonder why nobody picked that up.
He said it jocularly. I'm sure that they picked it up because I saw that the president's laugh was
mirthless.
Was sort of it wasn't a very happy or hearty laugh.
It's a mirthless.
And Prof said and he used President Tinubu's example that he was senator, he went on exile, now he's sitting with his tormentors. So in conclusion, I just want to agree with Juror Emeka, do not die in their wars. In this Tinubu's Tishegi now, have I not been just quiet or just watching from the side that they'll be pushing you on like the activists of those days, the Bekor and some Kutis, the fellas. When you are picked up like that, the attack till tomorrow, we're still asking where is he? Somebody who used to criticize in Kaduna State was picked up. His wife told us the officials who picked him. They agreed that they picked him. The very next day, they say, oh, he's not with us. So until today, many years after, he hasn't been found. Don't die in their wars.
Let me just quickly shape this in 1992, I fell into a smelly gutter in Oriri Egomo. While we not go green, the military started shooting. Near around that Oriri Egomo. We were running. I just stepped on one plank on the gutter. The plank gave way, and I saw myself inside the gutter up to my neck. Okay, I just imagine what could have happened
if you died.
People were shot that day. People were shot dead that day.
Wow.
It could even be that while you were submerged, bullet would have passed the level you were.
Yes, and there were killings. I saw people killed.
Sir,
I saw people shot.
It is official that during the June 12 protests, right? Innocent citizens running away were shot dead. Over 200.
Yes.
It is official. So that his tormentees are now laughing with IBB. We the citizens are not laughing at all.
I hope there will be some divine retribution.
There was a distortion of Nigeria's destiny from a productive cause.
Hopefully, this case is not going to die very soon. Femi Falana has gone to court. We'll be watching what happens. When we return, Juror Emeka Madunagu will speak on the need for pressure on government to abate import policies. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.